Okay, this is a follow-on lesson for the drawing of the nutcracker. So we'll just start by opening SketchUp 8. So I've already set my window up with the full toolbar there. If you haven't got that, don't forget that you'll need to go to View, Toolbars, and then click on Large Toolbars, and that will give you the full set of tools down the left hand side there. That's just what I prefer to use. Okay, so we're going to start with the simple rectangle tool, and we're going to use the origin as a starting point, and we want to draw a square 60 by 60. Notice in the bottom right hand corner here there is the dimensions box. I'm just going to let go of that for a second, and in the dimensions box down here type 60 and then comma 60. This is in millimeters, so it'll give us a very small square. We'll need to zoom in, so we can go to zoom extents and that will fill the screen. And then I'm going to use the middle button just to track out, just to get slightly smaller. Next I can use the push-pull tool. I'm going to pull it up, and this time again I can let go, and in the distance box in the bottom right hand corner I'm going to put 60 millimeters. Press enter, and now if I click on zoom extents, notice the way the cube fits into the screen neatly. Okay, again I'm just going to track out a little bit there. Next tool that I'm going to use is a great tool if you want to be very precise. I'm going to use a rectangle tool, and I'm looking for a tool called offset. The shorthand key for this on the keyboard is F. So I'm going to click on offset and click, and again notice how this produces a rectangle which is parallel offset inside the 60 by 60 square. So again, down in the bottom right hand corner I can actually type in there the distance, and I want it as 3. I've made an error there, so I'll just undo that. Notice edit, undo. Try that again. Rectangle tool, tools, offset, click on here, and then I'm just going to type in 3, press enter, and that gives me a offset of 3 millimeters. I can now use the push-pull tool, and if you want to be precise here, you can actually push-pull 60, and that would remove everything out of there. Now I want a small part that's going to be welded on the top of this box section, so to find the center I'm just going to use simple principle, draw the diagonals, that will give me the center, and now I'm going to use the circle tool. Notice it will automatically try and pick up the center intuitively for this, so I want the radius of 6, so that'll give me a 12 millimeter diameter round bar. Click on there, and then again I'm going to produce a radius of 2.5 because there's going to be a hole in it. Now I'm just going to delete those diagonals because they're going to get in the way now, but they're useful to help me to actually draw that geometry. Now I'm going to use the push-pull tool, and I'm just going to pull up the outside of that, and I want this to come up 10 millimeters. Press enter, and there we have a very basic body for the nutcracker. One last thing that I could do is just push through that hole that is in the middle there, and that would need to be pushed through by 3 millimeters. That should, if I've got that right, give me a hole right the way through, and that eventually would become the thread that would come through this fitting here. The idea is that you would cut off a 12 millimeter by 10 millimeter long round piece of bar, drill a 5 millimeter hole in it, and then actually weld this on to this box section. Okay, this becomes the body, and then later on you can tap this hole with a 5 millimeter tap.